What percentage of people in prison say, I'm not guilty? I shouldn't be here. I'm wrongfully convicted. They did me dirty. A big chunk of us do, especially in the beginning, because it's so painful. And there really are things that are unfair that you can focus on. In my case, it was banks. In someone else's case, on a drug charge, it could be that they charged me for more than I actually had. I remember a woman that I talked to, and she's out of prison now, and she did like 18 years. And I ran into her a while ago, and she said, I absolutely did not do what the government said I did. And I said, yeah, but you did something, and you got away with it for a long time before you got busted. And she's like, for real, louder, I didn't do what they said I did. And I'm like, man, just own it. Don't leave any of that crap on the table. That's the power of ownership. When you say, yes, I did it, I'm guilty, it was me, then you get to take the power back. But I did notice that it was really hard for people that were in on money crime, like white collar charges like mine, to take ownership of that. We would sit around for hours and talk about how smart we were and point out all of the deficiencies in the government's case. And it took me a couple of years until I started noticing that the people that came in that had nothing, that were poor and grateful for everything they had, most of them just said, yeah, I did the crime, I'm here to do the time. And there's so much power in that. And so I started gravitating more towards people in those situations. And I really had to separate myself, because I remember I had this woman in Waseca. She was an older woman in her 70s, and we would sit there and watch TV and talk about how wrong the government was. She was fun to talk to, and you can get drunk on your own Kool-Aid when you sit there going over and over it. But one day I'm like, she's stuck. She's been stuck for years. I've got to get away from this. And I started going outside, going for walks, and making a list of my part. And that's how I found freedom in prison, is taking ownership of my part.